Shroomraver here, and welcome back to Let's Make a Mini. This is the series where I'll be taking some of our favourite characters from the world of video games, movies, TV, comics, all that good stuff, and making them as playable TTRPG or D&D minifigures right here on Hero Forge. Yes, indeed. Now, today's one is maybe a little bit of a sillier one. It's certainly a bit more of a simpler build than some of the ones we've done in the past, but the reason I'm doing it is because of Hero Forge's latest update. They gave us the Science Pack, which is fantastic. Now we've got stuff like the lab coat, which I've been wanting for so very long, and a whole bunch of other little items here and there that we can use to make science-based characters. So, with that in mind, we are going to be making Rick from Rick and Morty. It's a show that I have not seen any of. For whatever reason, I just never gave it a go. I never sort of bought into the hype around it, but it's certainly ingrained itself in kind of meme culture and all that good stuff. Rick and Morty is very popular, even if apparently you have to have a super high IQ to understand it and all that good copy pasta stuff. But yeah, with Rick we have an opportunity to explore a lot of the new stuff from the Science Pack on Hero Forge. So without further ado, let's make a mini. So, starting off as we have so often with the human male character. Now, we could go with like an old man kind of thing. There is the gaunt features, but I think that's a little too old. So we're just going to go with the regular features there. I think that's going to be fine. The expression we're going to give him is very sort of stoic. Again, we're not making him particularly smiley. One thing we can do is change the hair, of course, and this is where we can really go with the kind of mad scientist look, because there is something called the wild hair. Now obviously Rick's character has very triangular, spiky, pointy hair. There isn't something much like that. You know, the anime spike isn't really right for this character, whereas this, as it says right there, the mad scientist look, is very appropriate. One thing we can do is something that we've never really changed before, and it's an option that I don't use very often in my build, but he does have this monobrow, which is really quite good for Rick. So we're going to be going with that. Not much we really need to do here. One thing we are going to do is change up the measurements, make him a very sort of light build character. You know, he is an older gentleman, he isn't particularly heavyweight, he isn't particularly muscular. So that's what we're going to do with him there, and again, much with so many others, there's not much more we really need to do here with Rick. His character, we're not actually going to be changing all that very much. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the pose we're going to be going for, because there's not a whole lot of action poses we need to consider for Rick. But we can make it look a lot more like him, so now we can get into the fun stuff and get into the clothing, the gear, the coloration, all that fun stuff. As you can see, we've got this new outfit. The Doctor's Scrubs is part of the new Science Pack. We're not going to be using that. Again, in the headwear, we've got stuff like this military utility cap, which isn't part of the newest edition in the Science Pack, but it's just there. It's quite nice to have. What we can do, however, is use this. Finally, I get to use the lab coat. Up until recently, before the lab coat was introduced, I was using something very different. Like down here you've got bathrobe stuff, which I was considering for my more science-based characters. A little further down, this one, the undershirt and trench, was something that was used as well. But now that we actually have the lab coat, let's give it a go, and there it is. That is looking much, much better. Very happy that that's included. No gloves on there. The legs, we could go with the scrubs, but again, we don't really want this kind of the drawstring thing here. He does have a belt, so we will just go with probably the tailored, maybe. Is there anything better? I mean, that's pretty good. We don't want to go with the Outlaw's riding pants because he's not an outlaw. We will just go with your basic tailored slacks. That seems to be the way to go. And in terms of the feet, we're just going to use some basic shoes. Probably these dress shoes are going to be the most accurate for him. And again, that's really all the clothing options we need on Rick. There's not a whole huge amount we need to do here. So we can get into the gear, and we are going to do this. We are going to include the gear right here. As you can see, look at all this stuff. You've got a phone, you've got a deck of cards, which is something I've actually One fun thing Hero Forge does is it has a submissions page on its Twitter where you can submit ideas for kind of things they can put in. I actually did submit a while ago a deck of cards as an idea for a Hell item. I'm not going to go ahead and say that they put it in because of my suggestion, but I'm really glad it's there for future characters I've got ideas for. But we're not using that. What we have is all this fun stuff here. Pestles, test tubes, flasks, all that good stuff. And we're going to use both of these. So test tubes in one hand, flask in the other. That's going to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. We're not going to have any items on his person. It's a shame that we can't get that weird kind of, I don't know what it is. Is it a gun? Is it a scanner? That weird kind of scanner thing with a green test tube on it. There's nothing like that in this. There's nothing we can do about that. That's a shame. I mean, you'd look. I looked in the pistol section, but really, even the sort of futuristic energy things, there's nothing really that fits the bill. So we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is change up the base. We're going to put a nice flagstone textured base on there, and this medical bag is the newest addition from the science pack in terms of what items you can have. Again, not going to do that. What we are going to do is just we can put a few more sort of bottles and flasks kicking around, which is quite nice. We'll have that flask at the back, and then you could put another one at the front. I think there's some other options. This one looks good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think that'll do quite nicely. So again, a very simple build. There's not a whole huge amount we need to do in terms of making Rick in the build, but we are going to be able to get into the coloration now. So what I'm going to do is just give him, let's give him a kind of basic enough build. I think probably this one, just for the skin tone. We will give him his eyes, because we'll give him his eyes, why not, sure. Give him the black eyes. I think that'll work fine. Yeah, no problem. What we want to do is edit the skin though. We want to edit the skin tone for the simple reason that he has quite gaunt skin. So if we move it around a little bit, see, he has kind of gaunt greyish skin that I'm seeing there. It's not bad, but it's maybe it'll look better when I put the hair in, because he does have kind of this weird grey tinge to his skin. Let's put the hair in. He obviously has that blue hair. This looks like the one. That's going to be a bit too dark, I would think, so let's go with, yeah, that'll do nicely. That'll play. Yeah, I think that'll do quite well. I will just get his lips the same colour, and I think that will do just fine. Yeah, let's stick with that. That seems okay. So onto the body work, as it were. I'm going to just put the flagstone down. Just do the base first, really quickly. All fine. Now we're going to be working mostly in cloth here. In terms of his shirt, that's a bluish colour. Let's see, there's that one, or there's this one. Let's see, which one do I prefer? I think I prefer this one. It's a little bit more cartoonishly light, which is what we want. In terms of the lab coat, well, I mean, quite obviously, that's going to be fully white. No reason not to do that. We'll make the buttons white. Is there anything at the back? No, there is not. Cool. So that's the lab coat in. For the trousers, do we want a brown? Yeah, a little bit lighter than brown. Not sure about that. Let's try burlap. Oh, that's much better, yeah. Immediately we'll go for that one. And we'll just finish off his belt very simply with a, that's fine. We'll just do a regular old belt combination. That's a very nice one to use in general. And we're nearly done on his body. We will just give him his shoes, which are fully black. We'll just make these entirely black. A little bit finicky to get in there, but we should be able to do it quite nicely. And there we go. That is good enough for me. Now we just need to really do, this is looking like a much shorter video than normal. Rick is a very simple one to do. There's not a huge amount we need to amend on him. But these flasks and stuff, it's a little bit unfortunate that the handheld flask is single colouring, whereas the ones at the bottom, as you can see, this is single colouring as well. This is dual colour, and these are dual colour as well. So let's get some bright colours in there. Flame is usually quite a good way to go for like magical liquids and potions and stuff like that. You can use the gems, but they tend to have, well, that's doable. It is doable. In fact, that might be good for the actual glass segments. Yeah, I quite like that. Oh, actually, that's really nice because it looks a bit more glassy. Yeah, let's go with these, actually. Let's go with the gems. That's much better. We can pretty much choose any colouring we want on these. I'll go with purple there. Why not? Let's go with a nice red in that one. We'll really mix things up here. We'll have some purple at the back. The diamond is what we were using for empty bottles, so that's fine. And for corks, I mean, we've got cork in this one, for example. We'll just go with a regular wood. Yeah, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much Rick done. I mean, we can look into different poses. We've got this kind of relaxed pose, which actually might be quite good. No, I don't really want that one. That's quite a nice one for him. We've got something like this. Oh, that could be good as well. A lot of possibilities here. More than I thought there would be. Like I said, we don't really want action poses like this, or, you know, that has potential. But I want this pose to be as simplistic as it possibly can be. Get the violin playing one. No, I don't think so. That might be the best one to go with. I actually quite like that one. Yeah, let's go with that one. Why not? So, I mean, with that being said and done, I know this is a lot shorter than most of the videos. Most of the videos go over 20 minutes. We're under 15 here, which is quite fun. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from this build. As I say, there wasn't a huge amount we needed to do. We explored quite a lot of the new things. Like I say, you can just click new there. There's all the scientific gear. There's obviously a pestle you can have. Be fun if there was a mortar, but actually that already kind of exists. Like, for example, if we wanted to go with that, you could have this pestle in one hand, and in the food section we actually already have something like this bowl. So if you wanted to create some kind of alchemist, this would actually be a really nice combination. You've got the bowl, you can edit the colouring of the stuff inside it, and you've got the pestle now to go with it, which is good. In the eyes, we also now have these round glasses, which are just a little bit better than the original glasses. We'll get rid of those. There's also a nice surgical mask, which is very appropriate for the time. Remember to wear your masks, everybody. New back items, I suppose, is just like a bunch of the stuff that's been added in. As you say, you can get a flask, you can get a pestle on the back as well. I don't know really why you would. Yeah, there's not really anything we need to add there, to be honest. I don't think there's anything really he wants on his back. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much going to be it. So yeah, that's going to be Rick done. So we'll take a little look around. We've got The clothing is very simplistic. It was mainly an excuse just to use these new science pack options. It's not ideal, you know, you've got stuff like the hair, which isn't quite as spiky as I would like. We can't get his weird scanny gunny item thing, but we can make him as much of a scientist as possible. Very simple build, we've just sort of scattered bottles around wherever we can. Useful to use the gems. I thought that the fire would be better, but the gems actually give it quite a nice glassy texture, which I really like. And that is pretty much going to be Rick completely finished. So, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you've enjoyed. Yeah, that's Rick done. That's the introduction to the science pack that Hero Forge have added. You can find links to Hero Forge down in the description below, as ever. This is the site I use to make all my minifigures. So if that's your bag, then I would highly suggest going and checking them out. And if there are any minifigures you want to see me create, put them down in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter. You can always catch me there. Both of my Twitter links will be in the description, along with the link to Hero Forge, and as ever, the ever-present link to Tulok the Barbarian's series of building character, which was the inspiration behind this one. But I'm going to get out of here. I've rambled on far too long, so my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.